Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader Guide. Full unfair Sanctic build, or better to say Sanctic, that I finished the game with on unfair. A complete beast, as you can see by the stats over here, and it's DLC ready as well, because you're gonna get additional experience when the next DLC for Rogue Trader is out. Again, the build was playtested on unfair difficulty, finished on unfair difficulty, and if it works on unfair difficulty, it will work on all other difficulties as well. Let's not waste time, and let's go.
Are you ready for Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader? As I am. The Emperor protects.
In the character creation, you're gonna pick Imperial world. For your home world, you're gonna pick Sanctic Psyker as an origin, where you're gonna pick Sanctic, into Feat of Greatness Triumph, into Darkest Hour, Shadow of Torment. After you're done with that, you will need to pick stats. What you wanna pick is a bit of willpower, a bit of toughness, a bit of strength, and a bit of weapon skill. Those four are the most important stats at the start. Later on, you're gonna get fellowship as well to be this high, but I told you what's the most important. For the Imperial world, we're gonna pick strength option. Okay, plus 10 points to strength, and that's all you need to know about character creation. Now let's see what we did. This is a officer Vanguard Sanctic, a tanky Sanctic. So, during the officer, we get voice of command. After that, we get coercion. After coercion, we get bring it down. After bring it down, we get the finest hour ulti. And from this moment, we pick seize the initiative talent. After that, it's the fellowship. After fellowship, it's better to die for the Emperor, because it's absolutely absurd how great this thing is on a tanky Vanguard officer. On the next level is gonna be commanded voice. After that it's gonna be fellowship. Then we're gonna go into purge soul. On the same level we're gonna take Psy rating 1 once you're level 10, that is. Now as far as Psy rating 1 goes, this was before the patch. Now you can take Psy rating 1 over here. Okay, so all you need to do is just switch Psy rating once you're level 10 for the talent that's on level 10. You're gonna put it up here and you're good to go. Alright, in this case, Psy rating will go over here where Dueling Mastery is, and Dueling Mastery will go over here where Psy rating is. Okay, that's the entire difference right now with the upcoming patch. After that, on the next level, we get Focus, then we're gonna get Coercion, then we're gonna get Finest Hour upgrade level 1, or better to say tier 1. Then we're gonna go into Commerce, then we're gonna go into Toughness, then we're gonna go into Destined Talent, then we're gonna go into Weapon Skill, then we're gonna go into Air of Authority, and then Dueling Mastery is now here, while Psy rating 1 is here instead of Dueling Mastery. On the next level we get Inspiring Speech Talent with Commerce. After that it's Toughness, into It Will Not Die, of course, to raise overall wounds. And the final officer ulti upgrade would be upgrade number 4. With that, we're done with the officer. You need everything that you actually require for the Vanguard. Momentum, play again, and preparation for the Sanctic better abilities. Once on a Vanguard, you get Unyielding Beacon for free, which gonna give you your tankiness. With that said and done, the very first ability from Sanctic that we're gonna take would be the Shield of the Emperor, which I'll explain how it works a bit later. On the same level, we're gonna get Combat Master, because we are a tank, okay, and we're bulking up tankiness right now. After that, we're gonna take Resilient Beacon, again tankiness. After that, we're gonna take Unyielding Guard. After Unyielding Guard ulti, there's a huge power spike with action point increase into Strength. Now we need Strength. After that, it would be Toughness. Once that's done, we go with a Renitent Beacon talent. Again, extra tankiness, extra toughness, extra tanky talents. After that, we're gonna take the first Vanguard skill, which would be follow my lead, that I'll explain how it works later on. After that, it's coercion. From this moment on, we're maxing out coercion. There is a reason for that. After this, we're gonna take offensive follow on the next level. With offensive follow, we're buffing up follow my lead. After that, we're gonna take Psy rating 2 on level 20. Okay, always taking Psy rating whenever we can and available. On the next level, we're gonna get toughness into a free grenade talent with a grenadier. After that, it would be taunting defense, more tankiness, more bulkness talents. After that is gonna be again coercion into fellowship. After that, it's the unyielding guard, upgrade number 4 for ulti. After that, it's the enduring shield, more tankiness on a Vanguard. Then it's commerce into strength into the final ability for the Sanctic that you can take during Vanguard archetype, and that would be the Hammer of the Emperor. With the Hammer of the Emperor and the Shield of the Emperor, we cover both damage and defense. Okay. The next talent is the crucial one and the biggest power spike that exists at the right time when you're gonna get a Solomon Weir armor. Heavy armor that's gonna scale like crazy with heavy armor proficiency, and from this moment you will switch from medium armor to heavy armor with heavy armor proficiency. And that's where all of these stats come from. Okay, once the build is finalized, during combat, deflection goes up to 60 plus, while armor goes up to 300% plus, with above 100 crits. Okay, that would be the build with huge parry as well, and the best resolve, or better to say the best momentum that you can acquire in the game. After the heavy armor proficiency, we're gonna go with a weapon skill into commerce, and on the next level we take Beacon of Might talent. After that, we're gonna take Psy rating 3 on level 30, and unyielding guard upgrade number 1, ulti upgrade, and that would be Officer Vanguard. After that, we become an Exemplar. The very first thing that you wanna take when you become an Exemplar is Perfection Under Fire. Okay, bread and butter, the most important one, and this is the biggest power spike in Exemplar archetype. During the same level, we're gonna take Steel Resolve to raise the maximum resolve, or rather to say, fasten up that ulti. Then we're gonna take Coercion into Unyielding Resolve. After that, we're gonna take Weapon Skill into Eternal Glory. And the final ability that we're gonna take from the Sanctic would be the Sword of Fate, the ultimate sword in the game, okay, where you switch your own sword with the Sword of Fate. For this, it requires of you to play with high momentum. The bigger the momentum is, the more you can buff up the sword on every round. I'll explain it later. After that, we're gonna take Coercion again. Then we're gonna take Steel Shell talent. Then we're gonna take Punish the Imprudent talent. Then we're gonna take Toughness into Blood of Martyrs talent. And the Vanguard skill, the last one of Vanguard that we're gonna take would be a defensive stance. After defensive stance, we're gonna take toughness again. So we want toughness as much as we can, because we are a tank after all. Formidable destruction after toughness talent. Then we're gonna go with a Psy rating 4, the final Psy rating. Then into Persuasion, and then we're gonna take the talent Tough as Steel for extra tankiness, of course, for the Exemplar. Then we're gonna take the action points increase, Power Spike, the last Power Spike. This power spike was meant for the DLC mostly, okay, the upcoming DLCs, but this is the last power spike right now in the game. Action point increase +1, you're gonna have 6. On the next level, we're taking Lasting Impression, then we're gonna take Persuasion. On the next level, we're gonna take Inspired Courage into Persuasion again, then it's gonna be Words of Endurance talent into Willpower. After that, we take Fellowship into Persuasion. And on a final level that you can get, we're gonna take Flag Bearer talent, okay, AoE buff for the entire team in the Iron Discipline talent. That would be Sanctic Officer, Vanguard, Exemplar Psyker. The tankiest thing that exists in a game. Now, what is the gear that you should take on your Sanctic Psyker tank? For the helmet, we want Helm of Determination. For armor, we want nothing else but Solomon Veer armor. The best armor in the game. For the first trinket, we're gonna take Scarlet Signet of the Inquisition that you receive at the end of Act 2. For the second trinket, we're gonna take Heart of the Nameless. For amulet, we're gonna take Invigorating Resolve. For gloves, we're gonna take Exoskeletal Gloves. For the cape, we go with Melpion Shroud. For boots, of course, Unyielding Vanguard boots. You wanna be tanky, these are the boots that are tanking it up for you. For the weapon of choice, we want Watcher from Above for extra parry. And for the pistol, we want Anti-Vehicle Revolver. In the other slot, it's gonna be Staff of Shock and Ave. And that would be all the gear that you need on a Sanctic Vanguard. Now, I'm gonna show you talents. Pause where you want to. This is how it should look like once you're done with the game. Okay. So everything that you see over here are the things that you're gonna get if you follow this guide. Or better to say, this build. Pause where you want to. P.S. This build was meant for Iconoclast or Dogmatic, or better to say Benevolentia or Imperialis. It was not made to play as Hereticus. So you cannot play this build as Hereticus. How do we play Officer, Vanguard, Sanctic, Tank? Very simple. You always gonna play first. And what you wanna do is use Bring It Down on an ally that deals most damage. After that you're gonna play again. Now, there are multiple combos of how you can play Officer Sanctic Vanguard. What I usually like to do is do the voice of command on someone, tell him to play again. Before that, I trigger the Word of the Emperor, okay? And now, when Word of the Emperor is applied on all companions, you can either decide to give them the Hammer of the Emperor and raise their damage, or you can decide to make them tankier with the Shield of the Emperor. Sometimes I use both, if action points are available. Sometimes I use only one, which is usually aggressive style with Hammer of the Emperor, so all my allies hurt more, okay? And I always pop Inquisitor's Decree immediately at the start of the combat, because I want to accumulate momentum for ulti. Okay, that's the best start that you can take. Also, don't forget that you can give free ulti with Transcend the Potential as well. Now, once things get rough, if someone dies or whatnot, you're still gonna be alive, because basically enemies will deal 0 to 1, 3, maximum 10 damage on some bosses per round, or better to say you don't receive damage. Now, how do we make sure that we don't receive damage at all? By Word of the Emperor into the Shield of the Emperor into the defensive stance. This is like the ultimate defense. If you wanna hurt enemy with melee weapon, you will need to do follow my lead and then hit an enemy with a basic attack. That's the other combo. What you wanna do and how you wanna play Sanctic basically. Till you get Solomon Veer armor, you're gonna remain that's behind in the middle but never up front. Others will tank, Abelard can tank till then. Once you receive heavy armor, you do not look for cover, you do not go behind, you do not position, you go straight into enemies' faces. Okay? You want them to hit you, because you cannot die. You want to be the primary target after you equip Solomon Veer armor. And that's the main thing that you should know. So you always gonna position that you can reach all allies with your buffs. With play again, you wanna position in the middle of them before you charge forward, so you can cast Word of the Emperor on everyone, and then buff them all up with the Hammer of the Emperor or with the Shield of the Emperor, okay? When you wanna raise momentum, it's Voice of Command into Arrow Authority, when you wanna give them action points and so on. When you can't reach enemies that are way too far, then you're gonna use Purge Soul to strike from afar. Of course, you can always switch weapons and go with Lightning Arc as well, okay, with a Staff of Ave and what was the name? With Shock and Ave, okay. Aside from that, always have this setup before you end the turn, so you can actually parry with a sword. You're gonna parry blows non-stop. Even when you don't, you're gonna mitigate like crazy. Again, these stats, deflection, armor, this goes 60, 300 during the fight, during combat. It's insane. The more you delay combat, the stronger the Sanctic is. And the more indestructible it is. You're only vulnerable like in round 1, round 2. After round 3, there's nothing that can deal damage to you. When to use the most powerful spell, Sword of Fate, only when you wanna have fun. It's not a must. It's really not a must. So you basically can play without it. So if you wanna have fun, if you wanna see Sword of Fate and see the damage and 300 crits and whatnot, then you go with the Sword of Fate spam. But you need to do it on every round. It's gonna work on easier difficulties, but on unfair it won't work. Okay? And that's a fact. That would be my Officer Vanguard Psyker Sanctic tank. One of the strongest builds that you can play in the game. A complete monster. Stat-wise, it's completely insane. Great at skill checks, great at tanking, great at buffing allies, great at dealing single target damage, great at AoE. There is nothing, absolutely nothing that your main cannot do. The only thing that you cannot do is those things that snipers can do, shoot enemies 3, 5, 10 screens away. That's the only thing you cannot do. Everything else, you can do it better than single companion that exists in the game. For sure. You are a rogue trader after all, and you should be the strongest, not your companions. Well, this is the case where you are the strongest, with a Sanctic Officer Vanguard. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I'll be seeing you on the next one.
Are you ready for Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader? As I am. The Emperor protects.